The Coffee and the Company Podcast.
Hey man, it's been a week since we last podcasted.
Yep.
How's the feedback?
Feedback's not going good. I just need to brush up on the way I speak.
You mind turn the knob just up a little bit, just a little bit? The volume?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool.
All right.
What do you mean? I don't get you. What do you mean?
Based on my previous feedback,
Feedback from your mom?
feedback from my family, my friends, those who watch the podcast.
Is that rather discouraging or what?
It wasn't rather discouraging. It was more like constructive criticism.
It hurts you, so constructive. It
No.
really fucking hurts you, right?
No.
Then?
No, they just mainly say it
They
feels
just-
more like an interview than a podcast.
How constructive? Do they give you advice?
No.
Then why is it called constructive? I thought it's
Let's just
supposed
say-
to be destructive.
No, let's
Something
just
wrong with
say
your analysis?
let's just say it's constructive criticism.
Oh, you want to put it in a very positive way for your family. Is that correct?
No, I just try to be positive.
Okay. So what today's topic gonna be like about this podcast,
Yeah.
right? So I'm gonna do a trailer because in Spotify there will be a trailer.
Mhm.
There'll be a trailer for the new listeners, to tap on the top one, so they will go into have a little bit idea what is this podcast about. So that's why this topic is about this top podcast. So I can create this from this episode. I will create an episode and a trailer, so that the new listeners will just tap on the new trailer, so they can kind of know what is this podcast about.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want to talk about? Let's say that.
Let me ask you, dude.
Well, for starters, this is called the Coffee and the Company, so we're gonna
Yeah.
definitely talk about the coffee.
Yes.
But what about the company?
What company?
This company, the Barista Experience Academy.
The business? No,
Yeah.
man, you got it misunderstanding.
Oh, really?
The company means the companion.
Oh, the companion.
Yeah, I'm your companion right now. You're co-host. You're my companion. So we're having coffee, and the company, dude. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
That's the name of it. I was struggling to whether should I name this podcast Barista Experience Podcast. It's very lame, man.
Might not be. I mean, it is talking about coffee, right, barista?
Yeah. I need something much more related to the theme of this podcast. That's why I did not put Barista Experience Academy. Barista Experience Academy, the moment that people tap into this podcast channel, what they expect will be flooded with information about coffee and barista stuff. Of course, we do probably like 50% of the topics in this podcast theme, right? We will talk about coffee stuff, related stuff. But another 50% we have other guests from probably like business owners, business operators,
Yeah.
in future probably have some celebrities who I do not know. But it's mostly for the endeavors and entrepreneurships. So that my guest, like I just released a guest like Jack Lee, right? He's a lighting consultant.
He's a guest.
Fucking not related to the coffee, man. So related to me as the entrepreneur, as a business owner.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I named this the Coffee and the Company.
Because
And so-called companion. Dude, someone called me up, man. Shit, man. Damn. Never mind. I returned call 1.5 hours later. Damn, forgot to put the airplane mode on this.
okay. All right. So what other relatable things? Like,
Yep.
let's say instead of coffee, we'll talk about lighting, based on your previous
Lighting consultant.
lighting consultant.
Lighting consultant has nothing to do to coffee, man.
Yeah.
But most probably he's a very suitable future collaborative partner. I would
Collaborative?
say like Jack is a very bright person. He's a very driven person. And he started this business, lighting consultant. Have you heard anyone from lighting consultant? You see anyone doing this?
No, not really.
Fascinating, right?
Yeah, it is really fascinating.
This guy, he just do one job to create ambience and vibes in your home, a restaurant, a hotel rooms and stuff.
I see.
Yeah, he's specialized in it and he's very, very good in it. He's very good in branding as well. So he's thinking to move out to get a piece of land that so that he can have a large showroom and collaborate with probably like what F&B owner,
Mm.
coffee bar of some sort, restaurant or coffee bar of some sort. So that coffee bar can be a showroom. How practical of his ambience, design ambience. And also that restaurant brings customer to him. Also, he bring customer to this restaurant. Or I mean probably coffee bar or restaurant. I'm not too sure about that. We have to wait and see.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that is that is one of the guests. Another guest will be Joshua. He's a real estate industry. He's in real estate industry. And he's a very open in real estate. And you know, I would invite guests probably like those are the hustlers, those are the grinders, those are the people who work very hard to make a living.
People like me. Cheers, man.
I don't dare say a single word to you, man, because your mom is listening.
Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that.
All right, man.
So
how many questions do you have prepared today
probably about 10, maybe 8.
about
Anyway,
this podcast?
yeah, about this podcast.
Wow, you're so curious. I'm so surprised, man. What makes you change over the weekend?
I didn't. I just gathered questions
From who?
from people around me.
Okay. How do
Yeah.
you research? Like you ask around your mother and
Yeah.
your friends and your classmates and stuff.
Yeah. They ask me questions, then I keep those questions for now.
So basically, you do not have your own idea.
I have some.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have some.
Good, man. So what do you think? First, come back to the feedback that you were saying that
Yep.
your family say that you're much more doing like an interview rather
Yeah.
than a podcast. Well, how do you feel about that?
Kind of true. I mean, I re-listen to all the podcasts,
Yeah.
both podcasts that we have,
Uh-huh.
and it does feel like interview rather than a podcast.
But my friends, I want to tell you this. My friends really enjoyed the conversation.
Really?
Yeah,
Between the two of us?
maybe they have fetish on bully as well.
Between the two of us, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, when I uploaded I think I uploaded the first episode. Then the next day I uploaded the second episode,
Mhm.
and they texted me. They texted me and said they advised me to keep you around, man, for a very long time. He advised me you should keep Reese. I think I really enjoyed the way that the dynamic, the conversation, how dynamic it was. That's what he told me. They told me, two friends.
Two
Yeah,
friends.
two friends. So
Out
on the flip side,
okay.
it is quite positive. Don't worry, man.
Okay.
It's quite positive.
It's like two friends out of how many?
Because you just broke your virginity like two episodes away.
What do you mean?
That's the first time doing podcasts.
Yeah. Okay.
So
yeah,
how
you can
bad
say
could
that.
that be? You're doing such a good job. I mean, there's a room for improvement.
Definitely.
Definitely there's a room for improvement. But don't feel bad, man. You're not that bad, dude. Just keep on let me bully you on that.
All right. Thank you. I'll continue to improve on
Nice haircut, by the way, dude.
Yeah.
For those listeners who not seeing it, we have audio and video, by the way.
Okay. Thank you. It was not intentional.
But look nice.
Yeah, because I started to gel my hair again.
Good. As a man, I think you should. As a gentleman, I think you should.
All right, thank you.
So what's up with the first question, dude?
Okay. First question would be, since we are doing an introduction of this podcast, we
Yep.
should all let our first listeners
Mhm.
know what we are going to talk about and what they should expect to listen from your podcast.
Is that a question, dude?
Yeah. It wasn't a question, it was rather a
What is a
statement.
statement, dude?
It was rather a
That
statement.
sounds like a statement.
I mean, what should they expect listening to this podcast?
Oh,
Yep.
easy. Coffee, entrepreneurship, and endeavors.
Entrepreneurs.
Yeah, and endeavors. Yeah.
So does
We,
this
we are slowly rolling out the coffee content. We are in the phase of rolling out the introduction of ourselves, the brand, the podcast, the person. We haven't started to go into coffee. I saw some of the podcasts about coffee. The concept is very good.
concept?
The concept of the coffee podcast that I watched over the weekend was good, the concept. But man, when you put two baristas to sit together, dude, so sluggish, man, the conversation. Fuck.
How on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad was it?
The conversation? It's not bad.
Awkward?
It's a normal conversation of everyday conversation. The it cannot catch my attention after probably 5 minutes watching them drink coffee and tasting coffee and talk nerd about geisha and stuff like that. I can't. I've stopped watching it.
Mhm.
The setup is very similar to what we're doing right now. 2 mics, there's a table, coffee on the table, 2 person talking. Very similar, very similar. But man, when you put two baristas in front of camera, fuck man, sluggish man.
So
I hate to say this, man. I hate to say this, man. You put two introverts, there's nothing to talk about, man. Except reading labels on the coffee.
that's what they did.
That is what they did. And really,
So
really pissed a lot of people.
really,
Yeah. If you're a podcast listener, if a fan, you like to listen stuff, probably that channel is not really good for you. Yeah, and they have quite a view. They have quite a view in terms of views. All right, so
so what?
put it here this way about this podcast. It will be coffee, entrepreneurship, and endeavor. Endeavor means if you want to grind something, you still have full-time job. I encourage you go and try. There's no age. There's no age problem. Don't put your family, my family, I have no time. Don't put your child, I have child, no time. Don't put your job, I have a day job, I have no time. Think about yourself, what you want, man. You do this for yourself and your family. That's all I can say, man. I hope this will enlighten some people, but it might piss some people as well.
Probably.
Yeah.
How many percent do you think you will piss off? Like,
I don't know, man. So far, there's no comment, not even a single comment as we are recording this episode. Over
Maybe.
the past 7 days, right? I tell you the statistic, almost 500 impressions on the profile, Spotify profile.
how
500.
many of them were good?
No, I mean, people tap into my
Oh.
profile, scroll, there's one impression. So I have 500 over the 7 days.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 500. It's quite not bad, I would say. But I have zero comment in YouTube. I mean, if you're listening, go and comment and give us some feedback. Much appreciated.
I would definitely appreciate it too if the viewers would, give some impression.
Yeah, man. Look at you, man.
Maybe personally message me what the hell is wrong with me.
What? Can you stop that? Can
I'm
you stop
kidding.
that?
I'm kidding.
It started bothers me with your negativity mind, man.
Okay, let's be positive here. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what would they expect? So let's say it's not just about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the difference between the podcast you listen to and this podcast.
I just posted this yesterday in the Instagram page. when you open up a YouTube channel about coffee, let's talk about coffee in the topic.
Mhm.
Coffee.
All right.
Do you still watch coffee?
Yeah.
Coffee stuff in YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many times? How many times you are flooded with coffee equipment review porn videos? I would say porn.
Not really.
On my channel, my feed is flooded, man, with porn videos.
Coffee
Like
related.
coffee review
Coffee review.
porn videos. Yeah. Mazda just drop a new coffee grinder. Mazda single dose grinder. It's called Fuel. It's everywhere, man. Most of the influencers in YouTube just dropping first impression, unbox. I mean, I have fatigue of this. I mean, if I want to, I can do this. I can collaborate with all the suppliers and let's do this every month or every two. And then now and then we do some review videos like other doing.
Mhm.
But let me ask you this. When's the last time one of the YouTubers, right, who does all these reviews, coffee gadgets reviews, when's the last time they talk about their local coffee scene, their local
Local.
specialty coffee industry?
Local.
Yeah. James Hoffman
Yeah.
from UK. Did he mention any word of local London
No.
specialty coffee scene?
No.
None. Lance Hendrick, Onyx Coffee. Do they mention anything about the local United States coffee scene?
No.
No.
They always go somewhere.
They always have some, oh,
Yeah.
this is the burr, right? Being nerdy about the burr.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong. Love it. All the statistics coming out, testing different grinders and stuff, giving some scientific data.
Yeah.
Love it. What about the local coffee scene? Nobody's talk about it. I'm here to talk about it. I'm here to talk about it. I'm not as big as those names.
Mhm.
It seems like the podcast and the YouTube channel, you can't find any local coffee industry stories, backstories, how they started, stuff like that. Not, I would say very minimal.
I see.
I would do this for a very long time, man. So you stay with me for a very long time?
Sorry. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
For saying
Yeah.
twice of sorry, then you say yeah?
Yeah. What? I accidentally hit the mic. Okay.
Yeah, I've invited one of the very pioneer of roaster,
Mm.
one of the very pioneer roasters. It's coming up on Wednesday.
Oh.
Yeah, very, very pioneer. He's also very one of few e-commerce store of coffee's equipment e-commerce store.
Mhm.
Yeah, in Malaysia. He's coming for my podcast, and it seems like we're gonna be a very good friend because I met him twice already,
Mhm.
and we have basically non-stop talking about coffee stuff, the history, the backstory of the local. Back in 2010, back in 2012, back in 2013, what happened, who's doing what.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, sure, man. We're gonna do probably 1.5 hours at least.
All right. Well, other than him, is there any other? Is there like your end goal? Who else would you
Yeah,
want to
I've
collaborate with
in
this?
talk. I'm in talk with other few. Hopefully, he will join my podcast at least for one episode. It seems like we like each other in terms of our chemistry. We
Mhm.
talk, and he likes me. He's coming over on Tuesday, but not for podcast, just to visit me. Yeah, see whether I can convince him to do this podcast, to share his stories, how he started as well.
See whether you can convince him. As in,
Yeah,
you haven't asked him.
I haven't asked him. He knows I'm doing podcasts, but he never asked for anything. So
Oh.
I try not to as well. Yeah.
So you're going
Let's
to
see
ask
how,
him.
man. Let's see how. If he comes, then he has a lot of stories about his coffee business. All right.
All right. So who else other than him? Like,
I
let's
know,
say
man, I
the
just
future
started basically 2
plans.
weeks ago, man. What else you want to invite
No,
the prime
maybe you
minister?
would wanna. Maybe would you want to invite those?
Yeah, there is someone in my mind I would like to invite as well. He's a podcaster. He started 5 years ago. I've been to his show before, his podcast show before. Fascinating guy. We know each other back in the day when we were in OUG that time.
Oh,
Yeah. He came to buy the coffee from the pop-up. He dropped by
Oh.
like that. That's how I know him. That's how I know him. That's how I know this podcast channel as well. I'm not gonna reveal his name or this because I'm afraid that we will jinx the opportunity. Until
okay.
he's here, he's here.
Until he's here. All
He's
right.
here, he's here. Then yeah.
All right. So, what is that? How do you maintain the motivation to do this? Do
No man.
you have
I
any?
do as I like. I do
You
as
do
I like,
as
man.
I like. So you
Well,
mean to tell them?
I'm not using any. I don't have any money for this. I'm spending negative right now. I'm spending a lot of money on this, on my mics, on my camera, on my lights and stuff.
So you just do as you like.
Yeah, do as I like, man. Today I still feel like I want to do it. I do it lah. At least I want to do it like at least 10 episodes for now.
So you say we might be doing 10 episodes there that we just
That's-
don't feel like it.
I mean, just very similar with movie and stuff, right?
Uh,
In Spotify, I have to fill up. This is season 1.
Yeah.
Season 1, season 2, season 3. I have to fill up. So season 1, then give me a rest. 10 episodes or 15 episodes, you know? Yeah, it
Rest.
probably go very long way. In the meantime, I do not know how it's driven. Yeah, that's right, man. Do you mind if I check the S23 see whether the camera is still working or not?
Yeah,
Because
sure.
after someone call me, might screw things up, right?
yeah, sure.
No worries. Still working. Still working fine, dude.
Okay. So, another question. Will it be only 2 people during the podcast, or will there be more in the future?
I I hope maximum will be 3.
Maximum.
By the way, the system supports us up to 6 mics. 6 mics, man.
Mm.
6 mic is like a fucking debate, dude. I don't want to do that.
Why?
A lot of people say it's very hard. It's pretty hard to drive the conversation where you have like more than
6
two.
people.
More than 2.
More than 2.
It's not that easy. Yeah, unless we are focusing on one topic, on one person. Until then it probably will be like just 2% for a long time. Yeah, until that I have a very good, valid reason to invest another mic, there will be 3 maximum.
Okay, valid reasons as in.
You know, business owners, partners,
Yeah.
husband and wife. I have to bring husband and wife into as a guest, as my
Ah.
guests. So I
Maybe
need
3
2
people
mics.
in total.
Yeah, I need 1 more mic, definitely.
Hmm.
So drink some honey.
3
man.
is the limit then.
I think 3 is comfortable. I don't want to do like
Uh-huh.
4, man.
4, we're gonna have a debate.
4?
5 will be an argument.
I don't want to do that.
6 will be get out.
Fight will going on. 6 dudes are okay, man. not mixed gender,
What?
not just females.
No, you can't be sexist here, okay? Let's try to keep it positive. Let's try to keep it positive.
Okay, all right, cool.
Okay. Okay. So, would you be able to influence people to drink more coffee, or at least get them to better understand
No, I want them don't drink coffee, man.
what?
Don't drink coffee. It's not good for you. Seriously? Seriously? Don't you think? Don't you think so? Coffee's not good for you.
Coffee is not good for you.
Yeah.
But then you drink it to keep yourself alive.
I drink it because I'm in the business. Simple as that. I want to keep my ball rolling, man. I need to keep my ball rolling so I learn. The more I do, the more I learn.
Gosh.
But really, seriously, man, I tried 7 days of coffee fasting. No coffee for 7 days. I have no issue.
You
In
felt
fact-
healthier.
Yeah, I told you this, right?
Yeah.
I remember I told you this.
Yeah.
I felt super energetic and super sharp, man. My mind. Tell you this, coffee is like probably like poisonous shit. I think it's poisonous.
And here you are
Yeah.
selling our classes.
Yeah, because we need leisure. In life, we need to have hard works. Also we need leisure, right? Coffee is my leisure.
Coffee.
Drinking coffee is my leisure. Just like watching movie, just like listening songs, listening podcasts, just like doing a lot of hobbies. So coffee is my leisure, and so happen it is also my business. It doesn't happen for a luck chance. It happens because of I'm taking steps. If I let go of this hobby probably like 13 years ago, maybe we're not in this conversation, man.
You'll still be
Yeah.
doing that job,
Sales job.
sales job.
Yeah. To be exact with sales job, man.
So okay, back to my question.
Yeah.
Okay, will you be able to influence them into actually knowing coffee stuff?
Sure. Why not, man? If
Let's
you're
say the listeners. Yeah.
sure. Uh, over the weekend, I watched this YouTube video about the two boring barista were having conversation. I can make it better, man.
Do you want to replicate it but make it better?
Not replicating it, but the concept is nice.
Mhm.
Having a cup of coffee, bringing out bringing out a bag of beans, drinking V60, then discussing the taste, what kind of improvement should there be. This kind of concept is very good when you do some other things as well. For example, learning. Let me teach a non-experienced student. Let me teach him about sensory through this podcast and video. Let me teach him sensory with how to navigate SCA Flavor View. It's very, I think it's very
It's
wonderful.
going to be very interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting because nobody does it. Nobody does this sort of tutorial, skill set tutorial podcast before. I believe this idea is very bright. That's what I believe. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. What's the sign for?
I'm running out of questions.
What?
I
thought you had 10, dude. I thought you had 10.
Most likely you answered. Not most likely. You've kind of answered my question before I even.
No, let me ask you this, man. What do you think of doing this podcast for you and for yourself? What is your agenda? What is your objective? What can you take? What can you take from this podcast? What can you take from this podcast?
What can I take from this podcast?
Yes.
It'll, to learn more about coffee and also to
No,
improve
we are not
my.
doing coffee right now.
I mean,
obviously.
but in
Yeah.
the future podcast,
Uh-huh.
to learn more about the history of coffee with you, and also to improve my conversational skills.
That's part of my
Yeah.
agenda as well. To become a better converse person and to become a better listener. There are so many people been talking to start up something. And this podcast channel being conceived most probably a week before CNY. Like fully conceived.
Fully conceived.
I click on add to cart my first mic. The first mic was wireless mic, not like what we're using right now. Not what we're using right now. I tested it. I don't think it qualifies my usage.
Mm-hmm.
You look at this mic, right? The current mic. There are so many people who say, "Wow, this shit is so professional." It's not really professional, man.
It's just simple, cheap ass
simple
mic.
mic. Just a mic with the arm. And this arm, I believe, is also the same supplier from the IKEA stand light.
Oh.
The clamp light. I believe so. Same design.
Same design.
Yeah. So it takes not really so much courage to run things. And also that's why this podcast being conceived and being rushed out quite quick. Because I give no reason to procrastinate.
I see.
I want to do it. I've been thinking like in my mind procrastinating for probably like long time, a year or so. I've been talking with Siu Chai about this.
Doing a podcast.
Yeah, doing podcast. Obviously, he has no response from him. obviously,
Because
as a normal person do,
he thinks that
as a
you
more
wants to
normal
do it with
person.
him.
So you show no express, so that's why you're here. And yeah, because there are so many people so surprised that how come, Dennis, how come you start, you know, doing this podcast? And the reason behind, they have no idea that I've been thinking this for the longest time, and finally I executed it. Then people start asking this question, right? Why am I doing this? Let me get this right now. Still busy for the video recording right now.
What happened?
The DSLR right now. It needs some rest to save the memory for
Oh.
the 30 minutes of this. By the
Oh,
way,
it's-
do you know why is it 30 minutes? 29 minutes, 29 minutes and 59 seconds.
29.
Limit.
No.
Yeah, I talk about this from my previous guest episode.
Mm,
It's because of tax.
Tax.
Yeah, because of tax. Tax on product.
Oh.
If you have more than 30 minutes, you consider as commercial camcorder. Yep. So the tax is different. When the tax is different, that means the price is different.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Okay, let me get this fixed. I need to go there and click on it and see what happened.
All right.
Give me
sure.
10 seconds, man. Back.
All
So,
right.
what else you want to know about this podcast, dude?
All right. So, clearly, as for someone like me who hardly talks,
Uh-huh.
this would be like a
I want to ask you, how do you consume your podcast?
how do I consume a
Yeah.
podcast? Drama.
What?
Which is why most of the podcasts I watched all ended up having like six or eight people. So they were all like debating
No,
and
I'm asking
arguing.
how do you listen your podcast during the drive,
Yeah.
during the
Oh,
what?
how do I?
Yeah,
Oh,
during the exercise, jogging,
whoops.
walk to school,
When
walk to
I'm
bus.
doing my work, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm doing my work,
Assignment?
So yeah, assignment.
Yeah,
So the most of you who don't know, I'm still studying.
obviously.
Obviously,
Yeah.
yeah. I look young enough to still be studying. But yeah,
Yeah.
during my
How do you
assignments,
during
when
during your assignment?
yeah,
Yeah.
while I was doing my assignment,
Mhm.
whenever I feel sleepy, I'll just start to listen to podcasts
Uh-huh.
to try and keep me awake.
Okay. Then what kind of podcast do you listen? Why do you listen to 7-8% on?
Mostly for drama debates and stuff.
What kind of
So
drama?
they will
K-drama?
always no, not K-drama. They always like debate on the modern ideologies of the world, and then they will start to argue about their own rights and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So it gotten very interesting to me.
Just fire up lah.
Yeah, it's kind
Usually
of
fire up.
yeah.
Cool. So, talk about your conversation. You were saying that a person like you doesn't talk much, right?
Yeah.
To learn about this podcast, to do podcast, right?
Yeah.
What's exactly your question?
I don't have a question.
What exactly is your question?
I don't exactly have a question. It's more like what would the listeners to listen from this podcast,
Uh-huh.
what would they like get to, well, I'm losing words.
Get to what? Get to know you more?
No, get to know what's this podcast about
Mhm.
mainly. So is it more towards just talking?
It's more towards self-improvement. The whole podcast were conceived because of self-improvement. I'm sure you want to improve yourself,
Yeah.
right? I want to improve myself as a better converse person, better listener, and also I want to be determined to see how long does this podcast will last. It's more like a self-improvement.
I
And
see.
also by doing this, we create content to give benefits, whatever we are talking to the listeners, be it copy skills, be it like they are in loss of entrepreneurship, be it they are probably the listener is one of those who wants to start off something but so afraid of the dark, so afraid of this. I tell you this, there's nothing to be afraid, man. This podcast basically fully conceived in shown up in Spotify. When I first click add to cart for the mic, within 3 weeks, it's in Spotify already.
Hey.
Yeah. Show no reason, man. There's no reason for you to not to do this. I wanted to do this. When I want to do it, I have to get it done.
So you just do it.
Same goes to you. It's nothing to stop you. If you want to quit study,
It's a bit too late now.
after OpenAI launched the Sora, I believe there's no more hope for your study.
I can't say much. Oh, okay. Sora. I feel like Sora OpenAI is only cooking the VFX
Yeah.
department, but not
Yeah.
animation department.
Well, good for you. If you are talking about your VFX and animation has not correlated, it's very good for you to calm yourself down, man, with that kind of reason. Good for you, man.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any more questions? Then shall we wrap this up for the
all right.
about this podcast
Really?
episode? Do
All
you
right.
have more?
So last question then.
All right, cool.
Do you want to share
Hey,
any?
you have got coffee or
I still have coffee.
you have coffee? Yeah.
Do you want to share any sneak peeks
About?
about our future podcasts? What they will
okay.
listen to in the future episodes?
Yeah, like I said, there will be 3 elements about coffee, about entrepreneurship, and also about endeavor. Also, I will share in terms of coffee. I will share about skills, and also I will talk about stuff, techniques about coffee, as well as the local Malaysian coffee industry. That what matters to me. Yeah, I believe for now, that's what I can share, because I do not know the future what it looks like. You know, it could be a karaoke podcast. I do not know when.
A karaoke
Want to
podcast.
sing karaoke with me?
No.
Sing along?
No, maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Maybe we're just going to turn into like movie watching
If,
podcast.
if they ask for it, okay. If they ask for singing, then yeah,
Don't be a
we
bitch,
might be.
man.
We might be.
You'll never be someone bitch.
Well,
Okay?
it's supply and demand. Who knows?
All right, let's wrap things up.
Okay,
for
wait.
this
Before that, one last question. One last question.
I thought you
One
wanted
last
to-
question. Okay.
Okay.
For that, one last question.
All right.
Other than me, as your only employee who's doing podcast,
Part-time employee.
part-time employee who's doing
Also my apprentice.
okay, your / apprentice.
Yeah.
Okay, who else under your list of employees?
Why
would you...
am I feeling this?
Who else under
Why-
the list of employees would you
No,
also do
okay,
podcasting?
wait. Why am I feeling this being competitive?
It's not competitive. I'm just curious.
No, I have not. Like I told you, not much of people in this line they're willing to speak in front of camera, including my future guest coming on Wednesday as well. He's really reluctant when I first invited him.
Mhm.
He told me it's not about you, bro. It's about I have problems speaking in front of camera and stuff like that. But I make him comfortable to talk to me. I just told him that whatever we talk over here, man, could have been a podcast, could have been the content in the podcast, could have been. Just act normal, just be normal, just be yourself, man. I will drive the conversation. Don't worry about our topics. Not like you raise our
You could-
topic, our question, man.
You could, I mean, there's the same thing you could tell Siu Chai, and Siu Chai will be like reluctant.
It's not reluctant, man. No response. Reluctant, there's some response, right?
Yeah.
No response.
Okay.
No response. I keep looking at phone, man. Oh shit. Fire's on me, man. Keep looking at phone. Trying to answer any shit. Don't give him fake hope.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
By the way, Siu Chai is one of the part-timers as well. He's one of us. He's our part-time trainer. Shall we wrap things up?
Yep, let's wrap things up.
Let's have a small toast. Thank you, Reese,
Right,
for this
no problem.
episode.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, everyone, and take care.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.